Welcome to this channel IBM classes. In this video session we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. So in previous video we discussed how we can code a load all subfile for an inquiry screen. Now we have seen that we have actually coded the loading part of that subfile and then displaying that subfile, and all other features like page up and page down was itself handled by the system. Now we have seen that whenever we are pressing enter is a key which is always active in case if we are not indicating or using that in our program, so it is always active. So whenever we press enter on a load also file, so suppose if you are on page 1 and you press enter, you will always be on page 1, but whenever you took a page down either uh, one time or two time any times, so suppose you take a page down and it comes to the second page. Now when you will press enter, the screen gets, the first page always gets open. So whatever the page number you are right now on a load also file, whenever you press enter, then in that case you will be navigated to page 1 of the subfile. So this is actually a wrong practice. So in this video session we will going to cover that how we can handle the enter key in our subfile program, which is a load all subfile actually. So quickly going through the code, because this code I have already discussed this code in my previous video, that is code so inquiries of file for inquiries of file, which is a load all subfile. So let's see quickly the code. This is a display file which contains the sub file. So we took size this 24 cross 24 by 80 and 24 by 80 itself. SRDS3 represent 24 by 80, and we used CA03 command tension key F3. So whenever we F3 key is activated in this sub file or in this display file, you can say, so whenever the F3 key pressed, the indicator 03 gets on. So we have used 03 indicator with this, it gets on. Now we use subfile recall format, this one SFL, and this is the subfile control recall format which is using the subfile format, show SFLRFMT. We have used these three fields from the file. Now this is the control format where we are using SFL page as4 and SFL size as 100. This is overlay. I already told about this. You can view that video. Code for load all subfile. This is SFL display and SFL DSP-CTL. These are the, you can say, these are the mandatory keywords for subfile control format. Now we have used heading in this one as well. So we can see that, just go through that, this you can see that we can use the heading part in SFL control format as well. So one important thing, that is a note kind of thing which you should know always, that if a heading part which comes above the subfile format positioning, means this 7 above, below below 7 means, above 7 means, you can say that on 6 till 6, 1 till 6, and you can use those headings or place those headings inside the subfile control format. As you cannot, because you can see that we have used that um, footer part here. So this one F3 exit key here. So we have taken another record format for that, because this is the must condition, that if you are using any heading inside a subfile control format, then that should lie above the positions of subfile format. You cannot use the headings below that. So that's why we used footer format here. So this is a basically display file which is having a subfile, and this is the load all subfile because the SFL page and SFL size value differs from each other, and we are loading all the subfile records at one time. So this is the load all subfile as well. Now comes to this program where you can see that we have used the student file. Just go through that as well. This one. So we have three fields: employee number, employee name, employee status, having 11 records. In that we have used this subfile. This is the subfile format, and this is the RRN. So you declare that RRN. Now you can see that we have write the footer part, then execute formatting the subfile control format to display a subfile. So before that and after that we are processing the keyboard key. So before that we should load the subfile at once. So that code we have written inside INZSR. So first of all we have initialize RN is 0, then the first step is the load. So we are loading the subfile from that student file. So these are all those things which we have discussed earlier in our code for load all subfile, inquiries, basic inquiry screen for subfile. So we are reading this student file and we are fetching the records. So since these records are directly referred in the subfile format, so we are not evaluating those in the fields, and we are just incrementing the RN by 1. So the first record loads at first RN, the second record at second RN, and so on. And then we are writing the same into the, and those individual records are getting written into the SFL record formats and are known as subfile records. Sure. Now this is the subfile size. So if the file size reaches, then we will be indicating 99 indicator as on, means that the file size has been reached. Now you cannot load any more indicator any more records than that. So the maximum of file size you can keep in load all is 9998. Here for example, for demo purpose we have taken this as 100. Now again we are checking if RRN is greater than 0. When we are indicating, we are activating that SFL display keyword, because IN star IN10 is attached with that SFL display keyword, and SFL display control is always be activated. So this is the end of all, and you can say this is the end of load subroutine. So first of all we are loading, so this is getting executed inside the INZSR. Then we will be writing the footer and then execute formatting the control format of the subfile control format. And then we are processing the keyboard keys. So processing the keyboard keys comes here. So whenever the user inputs or presses the F3 key on the keyboard, then indicator 03 gets on, and in that case we are forcefully setting the last record indicator as on and returning the program. So it will end the program and no more functioning will be done for that. So let's come and simply watch that issue, that watch what is happening actually. So we are just compiling this one as well, and this one also. Call subfile pgm1, sorry, this is subfile pgm1. So we can see that the first page loaded with the 4 records, because SFL page is set to 4 and we are writing the subfile control format. Now once we are pressing the page down key, we cannot see star more here because we have not used those keywords well end right now, because we are just focusing on the basic part of the subfile. not going into that detail so much. We will be discuss those things later in our next videos. So in this video I'm just showing you how enter doesn't work with this load also file. So once I pressed page down, then it comes to the second page, that's right. Then again presses the page down, then it comes to the next third page. Then page up, it comes to second page, page up first page, and again page down second page. Now suppose in the middle of this I just press the enter key. So you can see that once I press the enter key, I was on second page. Before that I was on second page. So once I press that enter key, I came to the first page. So this is wrong actually. Suppose you have navigated through uh, I would say that you have no navigated through 200 pages, and then you wrongly presses the enter and you again come to the first page. So you would not accept this thing. So this should be handled in our code. So enter key should be handled in our code. Like suppose I have reached to the last page, now I'm pressing the page down again, so it is saying that roll up or down past the first or the last page recorded in file. So this is the last page of the file because no more records exist in the file and they can't be loaded, because if they have loaded, they have already loaded and displayed on the subfile. Now once I press enter on this page, it will again come to the first page. So this is an issue. So once I press F3, it comes out. Now we have seen the issue that once I press enter, the program directly the subfile first page directly gets open. If you whether you are on third page, second page, fourth page, on any page. So this is an issue with the subfile load of the file. So let's just quickly handle the situation in our code. So what I'm doing here, I'm copying this code as subfile 2 and pgm2. Editing the text as well. Enter handling, should be in caps. Just write it here. Enter handling. Sure. So just come here. So we can see that this is the subfile record format and this is the subfile control record format. Sure. Now we will be using that subfile record number keyword SFLRCDNBR. So this is basically a subfile record number is basically used to control the display of subfile. So whatever the page you want to display at the current time or the current time, so you can handle that using this keyword SFL record number in your subfile. So I'll be just SFLRRN. I'm just marking this field as SFLRRN and this keeping the length as 4 because we have kept the RN length as 4 and 4S. You can see here S to indicate a keyboard shift or sign numeric. The data type of the field is zone decimal, so we are taking it as a zone decimal. 4S0 you should be type as to indicate a hidden field, so we are using this as hidden field inside our code, inside our subfile record format. So we have declared the SFLRN field which is hidden of 4S0 type, and this is pointing to SFL record number. Now just okay. So now I'm compiling this. So this file has been compiled successfully. Now come to our program. What should be changed here to handle the enter key? So we have seen that we have used CS03 only. None of the other keyboard keys we have used in our sub file, in our display file. So first thing we'll do here, so we'll be including that code inside processing keyboard keys, just like this one. P5 if star in03 is not equal to on, means that F3 key was not pressed. So in that scenario, if F3 is not pressed, in that scenario enter was activated. Sure. And if sure. Now what I will do here, I'll code it later. So I put it the block there for check if enter key is pressed on the keyboard. And the subfile screen display the current page. Okay, just save it. Now just comes up. So the first thing you will see that you will come inside ANJSR loop. You will doing the load part of that. So before that you are just marking that RRN is 0. So we are also initializing the SFLRN, which is used with SFL record number. So we'll be marking this as 0. SFLRCDNBR keyword. Sure. Just save it. Now the first step is load. Just come to load. So before loading any record into the subfile, before loading the subfile records, we should ensure that our subfile SFLRN must be one in the subfile record format. One. In case if there were no record present in the subfile, then we need to display this empty subfile. So in that case we need this. The SFLRN should be one. Subfile record number must be one in that case, else it will give error. Sure. The other logic would be same. I'm not playing with the logic inside the load. So now just one thing I'm doing here, like this, after this file has been read, and for safety purpose we are just checking whether SFLRRN is equal to 0, because we already know that it is 1, but we are just putting it a condition here. It will not be executed because we have already set this as 1. So just for the sake, like safety purpose, we are doing this, and this line won't be executed anymore. Coder, you can remove this. Sure. Now we can see that load part has been completed. Now after load, that was the first step. You know better that what we need to do after loading a subfile or loading the subfile records into the subfile format. What we'll doing, we will be writing the footer format and then execute formatting that subfile record format. This is already being doing in this code, and now we are processing the keyboard keys. So for keyboard keys, we have already written that block, so we have doing nothing. We did not no changes. Actually we did some few 3 to 4 line changes only for this. Now we just come to top of this program. The change we need to do here is like we are using the file information data structure, which is holding the current RRN of subfile RRN. So infts, so just I'm keeping the name as same. So in just infts, just it's a ds data structure, mark it as current RRN, and it should be, you know, for getting the minimum RRN of a particular page. Means the minimum RRN is, suppose you have set the SFL page as 4, so the minimum RRN is 1. For the second page the minimum RRN is 5. So that actually just in this position of the data structure, so making it as b binary and 0. Sure. So this will be holding the current RRN. So what I did, I just used, or I can write enter whatever the changes for enter I did. I'll be writing here as a tag. Sure. So this line is for enter, and this line is for enter. This one, nothing more than that. So we are doing basically the handling here. So in case the enter was pressed, what we'll be doing, we'll be populating the subfile record number as the current. Sure, nothing more than that. Just putting it down and just compiling it with the star source, so that I'll be showing this to you in debug. Just look into the errors coming. Okay, the name or indicator is missing. Sure. So it is saying that subfile SFLRN is not defined. So because we just didn't change the subfile name, subfile 2, because we just copying the source and we are making the changes. So just change it and now compile it. Again there is some error, just see. Oh, RNN, it's wrong. RRN. SFLRNN, where it is. So it should be SFLRRN. Just now compile it. Register source. So now we can see that this program has been compiled. So let's call this program. I'm not debugging it right now. I'll be debugging it after the calling of this program once. Call subfile pgm2. So we can see the first screen. Now pressing enter will always be on first screen. Now page down, now pressing enter. So we can see that once we press enter key on page 2, we are not navigating to the page 1. So now pressing page down again, we have reached to the last record. When once again page down, it is saying that roll up or down past the first or last record in file means the last page has been reached and we cannot um, page down more than that. Now once we press enter here as well, so we are on the same page. We are not navigated to the first page, so we can see that we have handled the enter key well. So this is a great thing we achieved right now. So just debug it, sure, so that we should build a more understanding on this. strdbg subfile pgm2. That's very interesting for us that we just handle the enter key on a load also file, just making the 3 or 4 line code changes. So I'm ready, just press this, so we can see that. So it will be loading. Now the SFLRN is one. Right now it will be loading all the records at once. Now you can see that this one, all the records has been loaded. Now the RN is 10 11, sorry, writing footer and then control format. The first page has been shown to us. Now when we are pressing page down, we are coming to page 2, pressing page down, coming to press 3, pressing page up, pressing coming to page 2, again pressing page down, 3 page down, then coming to page 3. Now pressing enter. Once I press the enter, the program then again goes to the debug mode and just checking the process keyboard keys functions. So if it is checking if F3 is pressed, no, F3 is not pressed. So it means that enter key is pressed. Now what it is doing, it is populating that current RN which is being fetched from the file information data structure to the SFLRRN, sure, which is by default set as 1 at the start of loop before loading this a file records. We have set the SFLRN bus as 1. Now we are setting this as current RRN, so will be SFLRN as 9 right now. So we can see that we are on page 3. So after pressing enter, we didn't navigate it or to move to the first subfile page. Now suppose we have press page up, so we come to the page 2. Now once we are pressing enter, again process goes into the debug mode. It will check if F3 is not pressed, so it will come here. Now in this case, the current RRN is 5 because we are on the second page, not on the third page. That will move the current RRN value to the SFLRN, which is subfile record number keyword. Now it will execute the same page. So once again pressing enter on the same page, now pressing F3 to come out. So we have seen the full demo that how we can just changing 3 to 4 lines of code, and we have just making the 3 to 4 line code changes, included the 3 to 4 line codes in our load all sub file, and we have just handled the enter key in the sub file. Now we have resolved that problem, that if we are pressing enter on any page of a load all sub file and just navigating to the first page of the sub file. So this is a very interesting topic for you all, I think, because we all facing these such types of issues and we are not getting the exact code or exact understanding that what we should do to avoid such situations. So I think this video will be very useful for all of us. So um, taking um, just this is the end of the video, I think. Now I'm explained all the all the necessary uh, information of how we can handle the enter key in our load all sub file. And at last I would say that please don't forget to subscribe our channel. And if you like our videos, please post, share, comment, do whatever you want to do. So thank you and have a nice time.